So before we get started on part 2, make sure that you have filled out the back of the chart on that Amoeba Sisters one just for carbohydrates, so numbers 13, 14, and 15. And then come back and watch this lipids one. I want you to do that at the end of the other ones, and I got cut off and I wasn't able to. So let's talk about lipids. Lipids are better known as fats, and their main purpose is long-term energy storage. However, they have a lot of additional usage. So they can cushion your organs so that your organs are well protected. Does anybody know what internal organ is your least protected? If you said kidneys, you would be right. Kidneys are right there above your hips on your back, and there really isn't a lot of fat to cover them. So they're the most exposed. It's also used as insulation, meaning it's stuff to keep you warm. So that's why skinny people are always chilly. They don't have a lot of insulation. Some hormones, not all, some hormones are proteins, but the hormones, testosterone and estrogen, are hormones that are made of lipids. And then also, very, very importantly for our class, the cell membrane is made of lipids. It's made of what we call a phospholipid bilayer. And that picture up at the top with the circles and the little two strings hanging down or going up, that's an example of the phospholipid bilayer. So some examples, like I said, would be anything that has a lot of fat in it. So your oils, olive oil, vegetable oil, coconut oil. Your solid fats like butter, or there's some other ones that we cook with, vegetable shortening. Some hormones, steroids, and a lot of times steroids will make you gain weight because they make your body want to store lipids. And like I said earlier, phospholipids, also cholesterol. There's cholesterol that is in your arteries. There's two types. There's HDL and LDL, and one kind of gets stuck and can cause artery blockage, and the other one is good. It acts like a scrubber. So lipids, this is a little bit confusing. There's never one real good clear-cut lipid monomer, single unit. The one that I talk a lot about is a triglyceride, and a triglyceride is made of a glycerol with 3 fatty acid chains, hence the name triglyceride, the tri meaning the 3 fatty acid chains. The polymer, depending on what the monomer is, the monomer could be a phospholipid, so the polymer could be a phospholipid bilayer. If the monomer is a triglyceride, then the polymer is cholesterol. So this one is always a little bit funky. You just need to know which terms go along with lipids. So, like I said, lipids are for good long-term energy storage. And when they store energy, they store a lot of energy per amount. They're very energy dense. So that's why if you eat something with a lot of fat in it, it also has a lot of calories in it. Because for every 1 gram of lipid, there are 9 calories. So if you were to eat 1 gram of butter, then you would get 9 calories from that. There are 2 major types of lipids. There are saturated and unsaturated. You probably heard this, saturated fats, unsaturated fats. Typically, saturated fats are going to be your less healthy kind. They're going to be solid at room temperature and from animals. So think about butter. Butter came from milk, or like the fat on the edge of a steak. Solid at room temperature, right? Unsaturated fats are going to be your ones that are like liquid at room temperature. Usually they're from plants, like your vegetable oils, and some of them times you'll hear about the heart-healthy ones, like olive oil and vegetable oils, that sort of thing. The reason they're called saturated versus unsaturated, they're saturated, it just means that they're saturated with hydrogen. If you look at our little picture over here, there's all these hydrogens. Every single place for a hydrogen, there is a hydrogen with a saturated fat. Now with unsaturated, what happens is that it's lost a hydrogen, like in this second one right here. Let me get my little pointer. It's lost a hydrogen on both sides right here, and it's created what we call a double bond. And the double bond is stronger. It also puts a little kink in the molecule, and that kink in the molecule makes it so it's harder for it to get stuck in your artery. And in fact, it acts like a little scrub brush. So that's why those ones are healthier. All right, so we've come to the end of lipids. make sure that you write down that they get you 9 calories per gram, and then flip that Amoeba Sisters video over, or that sheet over, and I want you to do 16, 17, and 18. All right. Take a break, do that, and then come back for part 3.